coming to the back end of your career, or certainly when your career comes to an end, I think it's very important that you've got something lined up or you've got something else going on. We hear so much these days now about the mental health side of sport, and I think a lot of that is to do with the pressures of coming to the back end of your career or coming out of your career with a lack of ideas or a lack of maybe education or a trade or something like that. So I think it's majorly important, and I think it's something that players should start planning for at the beginning of the career, really. 2012 I started away from sport, with business away from sport, and the conscious behind it for me doing it is because 2011 was the year I got in trouble again. I'd been a nuisance again, and I kind of got forced into doing things away from sport. So I did a personal training certificate, I got a level 3 personal training qualification, and also coming into 2012 when I signed at Wakefield, I came across a nutrition company which interested me, and it fit in well with the personal training stuff alongside of rugby as well, so it was great, and that's how I got involved. And since then I've never really looked back. I've always kept a focus away from sport, which I think it's set me up for where I am today, really. The playing side, obviously, which is at York, I'm still semi-pro at York, which I'm really enjoying, and I always tell people this when they ask me, that the transition from full-time to part-time has been made so much easier with York, because the facilities at York St John are outstanding. The coaching staff and the methods that they use are very forward-thinking. They're not kind of old school. So it's made that transition a lot easier for me. I'm doing 2 days a week, here at Hull KR. That's why I'm in my lovely attire. I'm not going to court, as some people might be wondering, but no, I've got 2 days a week at Rovers, which I really enjoy. I'm reconnecting with old sponsors and looking after current sponsors and things like that. So it just gives me an opportunity to stay in touch with Hull KR, which is obviously the club that I love and has given me so much. And also, I think I can bring some great value to the club in terms of taking care of the people that care about the club, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the position I'm in at the moment. And also we've got the wine business. Me and my wife have got a wine business aside, but we're doing a spare time, what I call a spare time income, which is great. So we do that probably once or twice a week. We'll do maybe a wine tasting or a wine social, but I'm always networking and speaking to people about that particular business as well. I think the great thing from Rovers' point of view and York's point of view is obviously it gives a great partnership for both clubs, in my opinion, because obviously York can benefit from some great players coming down, and Hull KR can benefit from getting players who may be coming back from injury or on the fringe, getting them some game time. But in terms of the relationship, where I'm concerned, I'll probably keep my eye out for sure. There's a lot of gems in the lower leagues what probably go unnoticed. I know York have produced a few in recent years. Chris Brinning's one that comes to mind straight away. So yeah, I'm sure there's some potential in that League One, and I'll be keeping my eye out and maybe feeding back to Webbo and Sheensy. What happens beyond this year in terms of playing, I don't know. I said that I was going to retire last year, and I don't know why. I've had this conversation a number of times as well. I said I was going to retire, and I don't know why, because my body feels great. Probably not as effective as I used to be as a player, but I'm probably a little bit more experienced, without a doubt. But I've still got the hunger and desire to keep playing.